Hi class, this video is here to describe your first step in your diet analysis project, which is your paper. And so here you have a folder that contains all the information you are going to need for step 1 introduction problem statement paper. Now, this paper is a grand elaboration of what you did in your prep journal. And so let's talk about the components of that. First, I've given you quite a few videos. It is important that when you write this paper that you cite, and also your reference page needs to be in APA 7th edition. So you may not know how to do that. And so I have provided you some awesome stuff. Here's a YouTube on APA 7th edition. In addition, here's another link on APA style. Also, what I find, especially new students, do not know how to cite without using quotes. There are no quotes allowed in your paper, and so here's a little reference guide on how do you cite something while giving someone else still the credit without having to quote them verbatim. This is actually a key component to learning how to write effectively and efficiently for all your future classes, and definitely within the sciences. We don't quote. So, the last thing I've given you is Grammarly. This is just an awesome thing. It's free. You should have it on your email. You should have it on all your papers. It just really helps you kind of step to the next level and catch mistakes maybe you wouldn't have already caught. So let's talk about the paper. So here are the requirements for the paper. Your paper will be 3 to 5 pages. It will be 12 double space. It will be 12-point font. Every time you make an assertion about something, you need to cite that. So this is where the references come into play. And so when you're discussing the references you're utilizing, you are discussing the studies that were conducted in order to support whatever you have identified as your problem statement. So you need to be using citations, and in your reference section, you need to have identified every citation utilized. Where are you getting these citations? You're getting them from your prep journal. That was why you found them. The other thing that you're going to do in this paper is you are going to discuss those citations. So you're not just citing a fact, you're actually explaining to us what those researchers did in that study. And so you will summarize all of your supporting references, which means you are going to say, for example, I am going to remove all animal products from my diet for a week. So then you probably picked 2 to 3 research studies that support the notion of being vegan. Now, in that, you're going to talk about each one of those studies, the population tested, what the researchers found as the result of removing animal products from their diet, and how that relates to why you're choosing to do that. Okay, so one of the things that students lose points on the most is that students do not summarize all their supporting references. In addition, the other piece that will cause a loss of points is if you did not select a research study. So I'm going to step back here. I gave you this data when you did your prep journal. So if you're going to look at your prep journal information, in here, I explicitly lay out what is a scholarly or peer-reviewed journal. Harvard Health, Mayo Clinic, MedSource, all of these do not count. These would be considered websites or blogs. Even if they are academically founded, they are not what you can utilize in this paper. For this assignment, you are looking for peer-reviewed work from journals where they did an experiment. You will lose a significant amount of points if you do not do that, because the reality is you can't summarize what wasn't done. You can't summarize a research study if they actually didn't do any research. Okay, so you want to make sure that you read the feedback I've given you on your journal. Please let me know if you have questions. There's zero reason you can't get an A on this paper if you follow these steps I've laid out for you. Let me know if you have questions.